what's happening here. Just give it a few more minutes, see if anybody else is joining. Hi, Linda. That's better. Hi, Kate. So if you remember last week, or the week before even, we did our base pages out of one sheet of 12 by 12 card, which ended up giving us, in effect, a fin that has 3 pages on it. Okay, so last week we did fin 1. So this week I want to concentrate on fin 2. So you've got your 2 sides there, and then in the middle you've got your 2 pages with pockets in. Okay, so this is side 1. So I put the instructions up earlier. The Facebook did play nice today, so we've got the instructions there. So to start with, we need to cut one flat. Now I've still got some offcuts of paper, but I don't think any of them are the size that I need. Oh, maybe. No. Okay, so the first one, we're doing a flap to go at the top of this thing. So you need to cut one at 6.5. by 6 inches. And then score that on the 6.5 inch side at 1/2 inch. Oops. Okay. So that is going to sit on the top of this page and lift up like that. Now on the front of this flap, we're going to put 2 pockets. So we need to cut them at 4 by 6. So I forget the card we've just cut. So we need 2. Oops. Put that at 6 inches. So we need 2. Oops. At 4 by 6. Just a top tip, because I got caught out on this. The other day I was doing something and I had a full pack of 12 by 12 card and it didn't quite work. And when I measured it, although it was 12 inches one way, it was 12 and a bit. I think it was 12 1/4 the other. So just be wary of that, because not everything is as they say it is. So Okay, so on the 4x6 you want to score on the long side at 1/2 inch, and then on the short side at 1/2 inch and 5.5 inches. And I've done that the wrong way. Yeah, sorry, I've written it down wrong. I've just read it wrong. So it should be score on the short side at 1/2 inch and 3.5 inches. So I've just done an extra one of them because I can't read my own writing. So again, on this one, on the short side at 1/2 inch, whoops, and 3.5 inches, and then on the long side at 1/2 inch. Okay, so I'm just going to miter those corners. Okay. Then I'll get my bone folder, so I'll just fold that and burnish that one down. So that's going to be our pocket at the top, and then on these two, just fold those over like a normal pocket and burnish those down. Hi Nikki. Hi Helen. Hello, I'm here today. Oh, I take it you're no longer on the telephone to DVLA then? So just burnish that down. So these pockets are going to sit just on the front of that flap. So I'll get the glue. Again, not too, just enough to make it stick, but not too much so it oozes out and covers yourself with it. So we put one on that side and burnish that down, and one, oops, on here like that. So they just fit, and they are the exact width of your page, like that. Just burnish them down. Right, now on the front of here I'm going to put a smaller pocket. So before I do that, I'm going to get some paper, which I don't think has a writing mark, and just mat that before I put the envelope on the top. So it's just under 6 inches. By just under 5.5 inches. Okay, so that will fit just on there. and I'm determined this book I'm going to get all the way through and make sure I've inked every piece of paper and not just found one later that's not been inked. Okay. So then we're making a little envelope pocket to sit on front of there. Use one of these. So cut one at 4.5. By 5.5. 4.5 by 5.5, and then one at 5.5 by 4. So hi Lorraine, I won't tell anyone if you're supposed to be working. Oh dear Helen, your name's going to be Bad Books in some way. But if they didn't mess about and take so long to get your answers, you'd be all right. So on the 4.5 by 5.5, score at 2.5 on the 5.5 section. And then on the 5.5 by 4, score at 1/2 inch on the 4-inch side. Oops. And then at 1/2 inch and 5 inches on the longer side. Now this is going to make your envelope. So if we mitre the corners, so that's your envelope, and this is the top flap. Now I'm going to centre this approximately there, and then I can attach the pocket underneath, leave about 1/2 inch gap at the bottom, and there. Now before I do that, I'm going to actually round the corners of the envelope pocket. So I'll stick this bit down. So I'll do that about 1/2 inch from the top and central in the middle of your page. Okay. And then put your pocket, make the remainder of your pocket on the bottom. And by doing that longer piece, it just means it's still the same brown colour rather than having to move things round. And then if you just line it up like that, and there is a pocket on the front that will eventually have a photo mat inside there, and you'll have 2 photo mats inside there. And make sure I get this the right way up. We'll attach this to the top of the page. So attach that at the top, and there you go. Now when this flap opens up like that, I'm going to cut 2 corner pockets. So for this, you need one piece of card that is 5.5 inches square, and that's not fine enough. So 5.5 by 5.5. Now, the easiest way I found of doing this is to score at 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. So 1/2 inch on that one, 1/2 inch on that one, 1/2 inch on that one, and 1/2 inch. Okay, then we want to cut this diagonally across. So if you just, if you just line it up, corner to corner, and put that down. And then if you mitre your corner again on both of them, and I just trim them off. And then fold your edges in and burnish those down. So when your lid folds up, it's entirely up to you whether you do this left and right or put them both on the same side. It's entirely up to you. So just stick this one down. So I'm going to throw that away. Stick that one on the bottom left. So that just shows you've got a corner pocket there. And then up here, I'm going to stick this one at the bottom right. I'd leave it about 1/8 of an inch up from the fold, just so it doesn't get stuck. When it folds over. So on the front page of thing 2, you've got an envelope pocket there, you've got 2 pockets there, you lift that up, you've got a corner pocket there and a corner pocket there. Okay, so we turn that over now and we're working on side 2. So we need to cut one at 6 inches by 4.5 inches. So get the card and cut it at 6 inches. So cutting that at 6 by 4.5. And then we're going to score this at 1/2 inch on the shorter side. And at 1/2 inch, to open it up. And 6 inches, no, 1/2 inch. Sorry, that's just a pocket, a page that goes like that. And what we're doing is we need another heart. So the next one is we cut at 4.5 inches. By 7, and this makes your pocket. So on this one, it is a simple pocket. You just score at 1/2 inch. And 1/2 inch and 6.5 inches on the long side. Then we miter those corners. And fold and burnish them. Now, this that we cut earlier is just a flap. What we're going to do is we're going to attach the pocket that you've just made to the flap, so that when you open it you've got a pocket in there to put your mat. So get your glue. And pop your glue on, and then just attach it to your page like that, and make sure it's stuck well. Okay, Linda. Yeah, I like simple ways to do matching pockets. I don't go in for odd measurements and things, and no, make it simple, keep it simple. Hi David. Oh, it shouldn't be working too hard. So we attach this to the left hand side of side 2 and make sure that's burnished down well. So you now have, oh it's a bit too big, but you've now got a pocket there that opens out so you can see underneath it. Right, so on side 3 we want a flap. Now you've got your pocket here at the bottom, so we want a flap on the top of here that comes almost down to the bottom. So again, cut this at 6 inches by 6 inches, which should have been a 12 by 12 sheet, but obviously it was slightly out on there. And again on this one, we're going to score at 1/2 inch to make a flap for the top. Has anyone found yet a paper cutter, trimmer, guillotine, scorer all in one that works really well? Because I have to have 3 on the go at all times and I haven't found one yet. So that is just going to attach at the top of your page like that. Now at the bottom here, I'm going to put another pocket on. So we need to cut that. So we're cutting it at 7 by 4. And just because I'm lazy. Okay, now on this pocket, again, we're just going to do yeah, I think somebody needs to invent a really good trimmer. I find the guillotine ones give a more precise cut, but you can't gut things, and there's just things that you do for different trimmers for different things. I just would like one that did everything. Maybe that's, someone needs to invent it. So on your pocket, score at 1/2 inch and 6.5 inches on the long side, and at 1/2 inch on the shorter side. And then miter your corners. I'm sure you all know how to make the simple pockets now. So that's your flap for your top of your envelope, and just attach that to the bottom of your flap. Just be careful about that you don't squeeze your glue too hard, because when that happens it oozes everywhere. Not that that's ever happened to me, she says. When it's really hard and it's not coming out, so you give it a bit of an extra squeeze and it then goes everywhere. So burnish your pocket down. So this then attaches to the top, so you've got a large pocket there, lift that up and you've got your pocket underneath. So and put your glue on the top, and just line that up level at the top. And burnish that down. So there we go, we've got one pocket there, you've got your page there, you've got a pocket at the top, you lift that up and you've got another pocket at the bottom there. So turn that over, oops, and we're going to do this one exactly the same as the side we've just done. So again, yeah, so we've got one there that's 6, ever so slightly over 6 by 6 inches. Oops. And score that at 1/2 inch. And that's going to be our flap for the top of the side. And we need our pocket at the bottom. So we're going to cut this at 4 inches. And cut that at 7. And then score at 1/2 inch and 6.5 inches on the long side, and at 1/2 inch on the shorter side. And just miter those corners again. I am trying to be good and put little pieces in the bin as I go along. Doesn't always work, and sometimes I end up with so many little pieces that I try and think of things to do with them rather than just put them in the recycling. I don't know about anybody else, it does take its time. So just burnish those folds down. Okay. Oh, hi Nicole. Yeah, different tools for different uses. I just wish there would be one to do it all, but maybe there is no such thing. Oh, it's not good that your hands aren't playing up today. Yeah. Heavy duty guillotine for Greywood, yes. A trimmer for card, yep. Blades do go blunt quickly on them, unfortunately. The Caterpillar for card craft, yeah. I also use the Caterpillar for anything over 8 inches. If I can get away with using my small guillotine, I'll do that, because like I say, it does tend to give a cleaner cut. So I need to pop my envelope on the bottom of my pocket again. And it's a pocket on the front of the flap, not the other way round. As you can tell, when I'm tired, I get my words completely back to front. So put the pocket on and burnish that up. Too much glue. Burnish that down, and then put the glue on your flap to go on the top. And there is the back of page 3. Just make sure that's straight. So again, you've got pocket there and a pocket there. So, whoops. So that's the front, side 1, side 2, side 3, oops, side 4. Now, side 5 is going to be exactly the same as side 2. So it has a pocket on here that opens out. So again, need to cut one. Oops. At 6 by 4 and 4.5. So 6 by 4.5, and one at 7 by 4.5. So again, on the first one we cut, which is your flap, you need to score at 1/2 inch on the 4.5 inch side, and then on the longer one you need to score at 1/2 inch on the short side, and then 1/2 inch and 6.5, because I'm being lazy, I swizz it round. And then mitre your corners. So just fold that in and burnish your folds down. You're right, David, the caterpillar is really, really annoying for small cuts. If I want, say, a 1/2 inch and it's a large piece of paper, I'll work out and just move it in so it's moved 1/2 inch from this side. Yeah, I still don't think there's a really good anything, even the small, because the guillotine, because it's got that metal piece there, you can't measure anything less than 1/2 inch on it. So I mean, we're crafters, we find a way around these things, but the other trimmers are better when you've got the numbers on both sides of the cut line. But until somebody invents one like that, we're just stuck with what we've got. And glue on the bottom of here. So this is our pocket for this page. And just make sure you've got it the right way round. I nearly put mine on the wrong side. And then burnish that down. Yeah, we need a really good crafter to come up with a really good one tool that is excellent at everything. Then we'd only have to buy once, I think, is the problem. So they wouldn't want us to do that. So your flap goes on this side. So you line that up straight and burnish that down. And again, that opens up and you've got a pocket there and your plain card under, your plain piece underneath to put pictures or whatever on. So when you fold that over on the back, see, that was quite easy. So for side 6, we need a pocket to go on here, and 7 by 3.5, not quite. So 3.5, and then cut that at 7. So again, we're scoring at 1/2 inch on the short side, and 1/2 inch and 6.5 inches on the longer side. Then fold those out, fold your corners over for your pocket. Oops. Make sure you've got it the right way up. And that just attaches to the left-hand side of the page there. So you line that up, hopefully, and just hold it in place while you burnish that down. And then we're doing a pocket for this side. So cut one at, any pieces big enough. Yeah. So you cut one at 5.5 by 5. So that's an off cut of something. and score at 1/2 inch on the long side. So 1/2 inch on the 5.5 inch side. So for the front of this pocket, I have to use another sheet of paper. We need to cut one at 6. By 5.5. And on this one, when we are scoring at 1/2 inch. So on the long side, we're scoring at 1/2 inch and at 5.5 inches. And scoot it round, and on the 5.5 inch side we're scoring at 1/2 inch. Again, we're going to mitre your corners. Fold them round. Now this is another pocket. If you want to, it's going to attach like that, but because it's flush, what I'm going to do is I have a We Are Memory Keepers, I think they call it a notch punch, and let me just get some scrap. If you line it up to there till it just gets with the level and punch it out, it actually creates a small hole. So if you've got a photo mat, you can pull it out and it's easier to get hold of things. Okay, so which side is it? I just tend to do it by eye. If you really need it central, then you can measure it, but just pop that out. And again, oops, glue your pocket on the front of your flap. So if you line it up, and then just burnish that down. So again, you've got your pocket, but because your photo mat's the same size, you've just got that little bit notch to be able to pull that out. So this then is attached to the right hand side, and I tend to just eyeball it and make sure it's central-ish on your page. So there you go, and burnish that down. So you've got a pocket there and a pocket there. Okay, so that just makes it easier. Now what I'm going to do is put that back, then I don't lose it. So I'm going to cut my photo mats now. So we want one at 5.5 inches square. That's 4.5. Okay. So that's 5.5 inches by 5.5 inches. And so that will just fit in there. And I need another one at 5.5 by 5.5 that will pop in there. Then we need two at 2.5 by 6. So they will just go in those pockets at the top. There. What I will probably do is put a hole in the top on a piece of ribbon just to pull them out, make it easier to pull them out. So in the next one, we want one that's 4 inches square. And that one will sit just inside that pocket. Then we want another one at 5.5 inches square. Which I've managed to drop on the floor, so we'll just bear with me while I get another piece of card. So I'll cut that one at 5.5. So I want a 5.5 inches square photo mat to fit in there. And a 5.5 oh, that should be 2 at 5.5 inches square. So one in there. Actually, that should be 5.5 by 4. Confusing myself here tonight. And that one will just fit in there. And then you just need to double those up. So here you've got one that is 5.5 by 5. And that will just slide, oops, in that pocket there. And then on on this one, you want that one to be 5 by 5, and that will just pop in there like that. So with that notch, you can just pull that out and that'll make that easier. And this is 5.5 by 4.5, which just goes in there like that. So there are a lot of flips, flaps and places to put photographs on that thing. So you have got quite a few places just to put those in for you. So I'm just going to go ahead and decorate this before we call it a night. So that is actually just going to fit at the top there, so I'll pop that on later. But now comes the difficult choices of what colour paper to put where. I'm sure I'm not on my own that struggles with this. So on this one, I'm going to use the coordinating blue to the pink. So this pocket is 4.5 inches across. So I'm going to cut my card, or paper really, at 4.5 inches. So the top bit is 3 inches. So if I cut that just under the 3 inches, or 2 7/8, and then again using my corner rounder, and that will just fit a smidge more off. And then just ink the edges. And then we'll stick this on the top. And again, underneath it's 3.5. So again, if we cut that just under the 3.5 and a smidge under there, and that will sit nicely on there. So I'm going to chop this to go there. So yeah, that one's 3 inches. And use your corner rounder just to keep it, and ink the edges. Are any of you working along while we're making this book, or are you watching and doing it later? No, nobody's working along then, or you're all too busy. So I'm just going to ink the top part of this. I'm not going to ink the bottom part because it's going to be underneath, so you won't see it. There you go. So that's your envelope pocket on the front. Then this, that's probably corner around your photo mount, and that will just pop in there like that. So if we open this up, we need two pieces to go on here that will be just under 6 inches each way. That's not big enough. So I use this one. So just under the 6 inches. And just under 6 inches again. And just trim a smidge more off that because it's a little bit tight. So you've got one there. Smidge off that one as well. Okay, so they just need inking and sticking down. Then I think for the corners I'm going to use, yeah, that's quite a pretty one. And because of the pattern, there is no up and down on it. It's not very directional, so we should be able to get them both out of one square of paper. So cut that at 4 1/4. Okay, so if I cut that corner to corner, So that one will go there. And if I flip that over, it's got the blue flowers. So you've got that both out of the one piece. So again, ink your edges. Actually, I might have both. No, I like the blue flowers instead. Just flip it over. And pop your glue on there. That will fit on there. And ink those edges. Slide that in there and just straighten it up. Okay, and ink this one as well. And glue on that. And there you go, got a little bit of glue oozing out there. So that's your first bit done. So I'm going to leave you to it. Those of you that are working along, oh, fussy cutting, Linda, have to be in the mood for that. So homework for this week is to base decorate the rest of your pages on this fin, and then we'll work on fin 3 next week, and then fin 4 the week after. Okay, so have a lovely week, everyone, and I'll hopefully see you all soon, if not back here next Wednesday. All right, take care, everyone.